Hello everyone, welcome back to the Sonic Chronicle. My name is Owen, and we have, you know the drill, another Release Radar review on the go here. We're going to take a look at my Release Radar. We're going to give it a listen to a bunch of stuff that's on here. There's some interesting stuff on here this week that I'm going to want to have a listen to, but not an enormous amount of music, which is a little bit disappointing. That's new. But we're going to give it a listen anyway, and we're going to see what it's like. We're going to give the overall Release Radar a rating at the end of it. Before we do jump into the Release Radar review though, please do take a moment to like the video, leave me a comment and subscribe to the channel. It really does help out in the long run. Thank you very much. To get started though, we are going to jump into a long one because I know I have not given Dolly Parton a lot of airtime on this show of late. I think the last thing that I listened to from Dolly's Rockstar album was probably What's Going On by Four Non Blondes, that cover. And this Rockstar album is just a cover album. But this one has intrigued me a little bit. It's Dolly Parton, Lizzo and Sasha Flute, which suggests to me that there's going to be a flute on here because Lizzo is a classical flautist. Now, obviously, allegations against Lizzo in the last little while has somewhat tarnished her reputation for me a little bit, because I think some of them are credible in spite of the protestations. But with that said, I do want to give this a listen. I am interested, so we're going to do that now. Okay. Slightly different intro. That's interesting. And this is probably Dolly's vocal here, doing the little hmms. There's the flute. Oh, yeah, okay, so that's where the flute comes into play. I should have known, really. Now, the problem with this is that in her day, I think maybe Dolly could have stood up to Robert Plant's version of Stairway to Heaven. You know, the original version of Stairway to Heaven. But I'm not sure she can do it justice now. And kudos to her for trying. But I don't think she's the vocalist that she used to be. I wonder if this is going to get as raucous as the original one in the middle section. Oh, okay. Interesting. The flute is doing the guitar parts. Oh, this is a little bit too country sounding for my liking for Stairway to Heaven. I have seen rings of smoke through the trees. It's been so long since I've listened to Led Zeppelin 4. I should rectify that. That's the musician's equivalent of... I should call her. The flute is lovely though. There are some lovely little licks in there. If there's a bustle in your hedgerow, don't be alarmed now. It's just a spring clean for the May Queen. Yes, there are two paths you can go by, but in the long run, there's still time to change the road you're on. Oh man, this is basically just a karaoke session at this point. Stairway to Heaven is just such a classic song. It's such a good song. And look, I don't think Dolly is adding anything in particular to this. But Stairway to Heaven, it's just such a good jam. Lady, can you hear the wind blow? And did you know? Oh no! Oh no! They've ruined it! Oh, it was all going so well! And then they did that! God, that was awful. I like that they are doing the solo. Very different guitar tone. Probably a little bit muddier. That said, I haven't listened to the original Stairway to Heaven in quite a while, as I said. So maybe this is a very similar guitar tone, but I don't remember it being this muddy or lacking this bit of clarity. It's a slightly different solo as well. And the strings sound to be a little bit more minor than on the original. Oh, that's cool though. Yeah, that's a cool interval. Maybe a little auto-tune there? Yeah, maybe a little bit. It's a little bit too much of the same vocal cadence. I want the big... Oh, are they going to do the Stairway to Heaven bit again? Oh, they are. They're doing the backing vocal where it says, Stairway. That is so... It's a bit cringe. To heaven. Yeah. Some of that... Quiet now, you. Yeah, some of that is a bit cringe. But look, it's Stairway to Heaven at the end of the day. There is very little you can do wrong with Stairway to Heaven, right? As long as you stick to its format. You don't try to change it up too much. They did change it up a little bit, that there was the cringy vocal part there in the middle. The vocal wasn't quite good enough for me. The flute parts played by Lizzo and Sasha Flute, perhaps. Yeah, cool, grand. Replacing some of the guitar parts is cool. Adding in some of the more country sounds, that kind of sounding instruments, like there was probably some banjo in there at some point, and the guitar tones were probably a bit more country than Zeppelin would have been. It's bold to do that, to try to cover Stairway to Heaven if you're not going to do it the way that Led Zeppelin did. Now, when it comes to covers, there are obviously two schools of thought. You can either go completely different and completely redo it and do it yourself, and that's your cover now. Or you can do it identically to the original. And in my opinion, I would prefer the former than the latter, right? I don't like it when bands cover a song and they do it exactly the same. That doesn't work for me. When they do it completely differently, and they completely redo it themselves, and they do it in their own style and stuff, that's for me. This is somewhere between those two things, and I'm not sure that I'm gone on it. More research required. It's kind of like the Duran Duran thing. They tried, I suppose, to make it their own a little bit, while also being very true to the original, and that didn't really work. So maybe I'm finding a thing that I don't like in music. Okay, we're going to listen to this new Ash song called Oh Yeah, Teenage Years. When did this come out? This came out 15th of November. Okay, so this came out mere days ago, which is cool. Glad to hear it. Is this on the new record? Is this on the new album? Or is this just a single? Let's see. Oh Yeah, Teenage Years. Is this on Race the Night? It is not. This is an actual new single. They released an album 2 months ago, and now they've got a new single. All right. Cool. You do you, Ash. Let's give it a listen. Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. No longer Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. This is a cool rock song. That's a real chainsaw or buzzsaw guitar tone there. Yeah, you could cut up pieces of wood with that guitar tone. Oh yeah, oh yeah. This is cool. Yeah. Oh, I always like those kinds of discordant bend sections in songs. I think they add texture, good texture. I was going to say that it's maybe a little bit cringy for guys that are in their 40s talking about teenage years, but he's obviously talking about like remembering what the feelings about when he was a teenager, which is very different, obviously. Ooh. There's a lot of little subtle licks and things in here that are cool. The drums are great as well. They're doing everything that they need to do. Oh, that's a cool bass line. Do 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 do. Oh. Don't sleep on the bass on this track. Ooh. I haven't heard a Tim Wheeler's guitar solo that I've really liked in a long time. So this is great. Lads. You know what? That is great. That is great high octane power pop rock. That has engaged me. That has made me excited for Ash music again. Which hasn't happened in a long time. Not since I think the Charlotte Hatherley era, to be honest with you. That's getting the Sonic Chronicle seal of approval. That's so good. Stick it on your playlists. That'll get you moving. Really good job, Ash. Really good job. Next up, we have John Denver from The Last Recordings. I'm a big fan of John Denver. I think his music is wonderful. As an acoustic troubadour myself, or as I have been at one point or another. John Denver has always, I suppose, had a real delicate honesty about his music. And what really, I suppose, and we'll hit the play button here, what has really, I suppose, been something that has been important to me is how John Denver, when they were bringing in the parental advisory explicit content stuff, they were trying to suppress his song Rocky Mountain High. And he went to Congress, and they thought that, John Denver, a wholesome singer-songwriter, acoustic troubadour, he'll be in favor of this whole thing to protect generations. And he came in going, why are you censoring Rocky Mountain High? It's a song about communing with nature. Why have you placed this explicit content on it? Because it's not explicit in the slightest. There's a great clip online about that. And maybe I'll cut that in.
I've had in my experience 2 encounters with a sort of censorship. My song Rocky Mountain High was banned from many radio stations as a drug-related song. This was obviously done by people who'd never seen or been to the Rocky Mountains and also had never experienced the elation, the celebration of life, or the joy in living that one feels when he observes something as wondrous as the Perseid meteor shower. On a moonless and cloudless night, when there are so many stars that you have a shadow from the starlight. And you're out camping with your friends, your best friends, and introducing them to one of nature's most spectacular light shows for the very first time. Obviously a clear case of misinterpretation.
This is almost like a hymn. Like there's something very church about this song and the sound, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, because it's not about religion, and it's not about church, and it's not about faith. This is about, again, nature and the world around you and experiencing the world around you, which is what John Denver was pretty much all about. Questionable movies aside, I always find that like the songs that John Denver writes are, in ways technically very proficient, right? Like as a guitar player, yeah, he can do his thing. There's nothing that will jump out at you as being very impressive in a lot of ways. But the quality comes in the form of his vocal performance and his lyrical content. And I think I have like a real admiration for that kind of thing. He's got good range as well. Good vocal range. The first time I was introduced to John Denver, I think, was probably on The Muppets Show. Because they had an episode where he was a guest star. And he was pretty great. He seemed to really enjoy himself. John Denver, Wind Song. Lovely song. Lovely song. Doesn't get the seal of approval, but it is a lovely song. Okay, we're scrolling down substantially here because there's stuff here that I'm not particularly interested to give a listen to. But what we are going to give a listen to is this song Northern Attitude with Hozier. So Noah Kahan and Hozier. I'm not a big Hozier fan. Like Take Me to Church, great song. Really enjoyed that. What's that song? Rhythm and Blues. That's a fun one as well. And I fall in love a little bit every day with someone new. That's pretty neat. The singles are pretty good, but I don't quite enjoy some of his more recent stuff. I don't think Cry Power, Nina Cried Power is particularly good, though I do enjoy, I suppose, or like the message behind it. So we're going to give this one a little bit of a listen here, and we're going to be... Oh, interesting, Hozier, to collab on this style of song. Andrew, I believe his name is.
Breathing in, breathing out. How you been? You settled down.
It's cool. Okay, we're kicking into it a little bit now. The organ, that's going to be a Hozier, or that is a Hozier staple. What I want to hear is the snare drum, with loads of reverb on it to make it sound massive. Oh, am I getting it? Like in The Boxer by Paul Simon towards the end. Or in the choruses, I guess. No, I'm not getting it? Okay. Missed opportunity, in my opinion. Jesus. Is that grim? Oh. So is he going to join him in the choruses now? So there are elements of this that I quite like, because it kind of reminds me of the kind of style of music that Frightened Rabbit would have made. So yeah, there's elements here that I quite like. Oh, there's... Okay. Let's see, who's Noah Kahan? What's his deal? Where's the about section about this artist? Over the past year, Vermont singer and songwriter Noah Kahan has exploded from his New England roots into the global mainstream and has been touted as one of 2023's biggest and best new artists. This is the first I'm hearing of him, but apparently he's got 22 million monthly listeners, 22.5 million. So, yeah, what do I know? All right. That's Northern Attitude, I suppose. All right, next one, Emo 101. Fuck. This Emo 101 kind of thing. You know, I enjoyed my fair share of emo back in the day. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. This is very relatable. Who are me and Reyes? Oh, Jesus. Hey, we make music. Okay, cool. I like this. I don't think it's to everyone's tastes, but I'm going to stick it on one of my playlists. I like it. It kind of reminds me of Japan Droids a little bit. I am. I'm not talking a lot about this, and that's just because I'm kind of taking it all in. Because when I kind of started writing music, there is a song that I wrote a long time ago called MTV. There is one very, very bad recording of. That's kind of like a pop punk emo track that never got fully completed effectively. And this song kind of like evokes all of the feelings that I probably had around that time. And even when it comes to writing riffs and things these days, like, yes, I went through metal bands and I was, writing stuff acoustically, and I was in like that 80s cover band for a while as well. But really, what I was writing were like acoustic pop or acoustic emo songs, effectively. So yeah, will always, I think, be an influence on my music. Like bands like The Used, and things like that. That style of singing, that style of writing, that style of emoting through music. I think that'll always be with me in some capacity. All right, we're going to listen to one more song. We're going to listen to Mother Nature by MGMT, and then we will wrap it up. But let's give it a listen, because I've liked MGMT since, obviously they released that record with Kids and Time to Pretend on it. I can't remember. And Electric Dream? Electric Feel. I can't remember the name of that record. Future Me, Stick It In here. But I think that they've changed substantially since then, away from the electronica, as this is kind of suggesting here. I quite like this. It's a bit more indie than they used to be, I think. Oh, here's a little bit. Oh. What are those drums doing? That was cool. I liked what the drums were doing there. There are elements of this that kind of remind me of like Oasis and the Shins, which isn't a bad thing by any means. I like both those bands. Is there going to be a big guitar solo? Not really yet. I like this. This section is cool. The snare coming in to really kind of like push it. Gives it a sense of urgency. Oh. That wasn't what I expected to happen there at all. It's kind of that callback to that original bass or drum fill that I was talking about earlier. When that made me prick up my ears. Little bit of a guitar solo here. Yeah, I like that. I really liked their electronica stuff back in the day. This as a departure, it's cool. I like it a lot. I don't like it enough for it to get the Sonic Chronicle seal of approval, but I do like it plenty. So that was Mother Nature by MGMT, and overall that's kind of the new stuff mostly that has been added to my release radar this week. Overall, would I like to see more new stuff, more stuff that I haven't been looking at for the past couple of weeks, like things like The Apologist by REM. And look, you need to remove Pearl Jam from my release radar, Spotify. It's not going to happen. The new Green Day track, Look Ma, No Brains. I mean, Taylor Swift, get her out of there, please. Prince, I love you, but I don't need you in here. Frances Farmer Will Have Her Revenge has been in here since the very first release radar review that I did. So that should probably no longer be in there. But overall, in terms of those tracks that we listened to, yeah, I'd say that's a pretty good set of tracks. Once you have filtered it out your release radar in general. But look, Oh Yeah by Teenage Years by Ash, that got the Sonic Chronicle seal of approval. Stick that one on your playlists. And yeah, that we're going to wrap that up and we're going to leave it there for now. But thank you very much for joining me on the Sonic Chronicle on this Release Radar review. Make sure to like the video if you did enjoy this. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of these kinds of things and some upcoming interviews with upcoming artists that you should keep an eye out for. And make sure to leave me a comment if you disagree with anything that we spoke about here today. But yeah, thank you again for stopping by, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.